Alright, welcome back to the Youth Edition Career Mode FIFA 18 with Forest Green. We have taken the Premier League title here in our first chance at success here. So another piece of silverware there for Forest Green. Before we head into season number 6, this episode here is just going to be a very big, long, in-depth look at our squad. My thoughts and what we probably need to do moving into the next season. So we'll just jump straight in. We're going to go through all the squads, check out the Youth Academy. There may be some more reports come back and that kind of stuff here as we finish off this season. And then I need to get into looking at the slider setup for season number 6. But need to get into this one, need to wrap it all up so that we have a chance here. You're probably watching this. The Majestico live stream might have already been done over on the Streaming DK channel, but the edited event will be up in tomorrow's episode, and then hopefully we'll start season number 6 the following day. So let's get into this one and have a look around and see how we finished off this miraculous season here in the Premier League, season number 5. Well, Dylan Allen did take the Golden Boot. He was the top scorer, even though he was injured and out for 3 months. But 21 goals in the Premier League saw him take the Golden Boot. Let's have a look at the team of the competition. And Alfie Wilson checks into the midfield. Higinye is in there as well. But no Dylan Allen. You've got the top goal scorer and he's not in the team of the competition. So Higinye in there, and Alfie Wilson, the 2 players from Forest Green, in at the team of the competition. Well, the Premier League's player of the competition has been Higinye. Well, that is an interesting story. He did come home there hard once Dylan Allen was out of action, but had a tremendous season there on the wing. And we'll go in and have a look at some in-depth statistics and see why he was named player of the competition. So, top scorers, it was Dylan Allen taking the Golden Boot with 21, but Higinye just absolutely smashed a few in there at the end of the season and finishes second on the list with 16 goals. So you can see there why we were one of the top scoring teams in the league. Assist-wise, that is Charlie Allen with 12, Lefevre with 10, and Dylan Allen with 10. Higinye got himself 6, Bunbury with 5. So, I mean, Dylan Allen, top goal scorer, 3rd on the assist list, can't get into the team of the season. That's a bit rough. Clean sheets, Dior ended up with 10 clean sheets, which isn't a bad effort. And Zanen, 4 from 4. So we're looking for a big season from Zanen next season as well. There will be some heavy rotations through that keeping position. I'm going to go through, I've created 3 team sheets here with the current squad, but we'll get to them after we've done a bit of a look at the current squad. Okay, 173 million for winning the Premier League. That seems a little bit excessive, but we'll take it. And youth player wants out in Lucas Morgan. You can see we're only in May, so we've still got a few weeks of managerial stuff to take care of, so let's get into it. Now, Lucas Morgan is an American central attacking midfielder, 63 overall playmaker, 82 to 88, 5'9". Doesn't really have the stats that I'm looking for. We've got some good cams coming through, and at 18 already, unfortunately, Lucas, you're going to be released. All right, it's time to take a look at our youth academy for the final time this season. We've got Jonas Wolf coming through. He's a right back from Germany, 85 to 94 potential, defensively minded, 62 overall. David Tekens is a central defensive midfielder from South Africa, 61 overall, 86 to 92 potential, defensively minded. Giuseppe Mancini, 58 overall centre-back, 81 to 87. He is physically strong. Brian Clark, the Canadian striker, 57 overall, 81 to 91, physically strong. Andrew Haber is an American left midfielder, 64 overall, 83 to 89, playmaker on the outside. We'll see how he develops. He is 18, so possibly not make the cut. Lars Willems, 62 overall, 89 to 94, centre midfielding playmaker. So we'll keep an eye on him. Cesar Miguel, the left back, 65 overall, 90 to 94, potential, defensively minded. And Arvid Arsene is a 52 overall centre back, 70 to 88, physically strong, but not very physically strong by the looks of things. We'll keep an eye on him. We've got limited places available in our squad at the moment, so I just need to be real careful on what we bring in, because if we bring in too many youth players and we can't sell anyone off, you can only release 2, and we won't be able to bring in some extra talent to bolster this team for our good run at the Champions League. Right, we get an offer in here from Bolton for Palacios, 800 grand evaluation. They've only come in at 690. I am going to delegate this one just to try and score a bit of cash out of him. We'll start it at $1 million, and we'll say he's not going for less than his 800 evaluation. Right, we've got our final scout reports back for this season, and we are here in Argentina. There is some talent floating around, but no one worth bringing into our youth academy at this stage, so we'll continue to monitor these lads. Right, we are here in Poland, and well, there's definitely talent floating around, and there will be one player that we bring in. It is, we're going to go with Michel Petrovski, 48 to 66, 78 to 94 potential. Looks like he is a backline player, and he's valued at 300 grand. We'll bring him into the academy just to take a look at him for starters. And we are here in Egypt, and we will be making a couple of players into the youth academy. One is Yassin Halal, 50 to 68, 77 to 94. Looks like a right back, 250 grand evaluation. And we also have Taha Ramsey, 53 to 71, 77 to 94 potential, 6'6", and I think it was about 370 grand evaluation. So we'll bring those lads into the academy and take a good look at them. Right, Bolton have agreed 900 for Palacios. Let's see if they can work out a deal. Nope, they couldn't agree to terms. Palacios is still here at Forest Green. Right, so first thing we need to address here at the end of the season is contracts. Now, I think we're going to sign up most of these players except for fucking Liverstam. He can go. But you know, the Greeks, they may get an opportunity here. Seeing, well, he is the team mascot. And Park, I think, will still be able to utilise his pace a fair amount. So I'm going to try and get some contracts for these 4 lads. And we'll let Liverstam be released at the end of the season. Right, it's time for a very, very in-depth look at our current squad and just give you an idea of what I'm thinking with some of these players. So sit back, get into this if you're right into the nitty-gritty of this team right now. If you've been following since the start of the season, we're going to get into this one and have a look at, you know, the potential of players who I feel could possibly leave the club and where I think players will be sitting within this. We'll look at their stats for the season, their attributes, and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. We start off with Dior. He's an 81. He has gone up to. Doesn't have a status, so he's probably at about his limit, obviously without extra training. Did get the 11 clean sheets for us there, 10 in the Premier League, an average rating of 7.2 for the season. And he has grown a little bit there in handling and kicking, but that was purely from training this season. He is on 30 grand and a week, value of 11.5, still 3 years left on his contract. Bjorn Braun out on loan at Middlesbrough. He went up 3 to a 70. And looks like he's got a couple of appearances there, the 5-star weak foot, and he is growing naturally as well. I think he has shown great potential from memory. He's only on 9.5 grand, evaluation of 1.7. Zanin, who we brought in from Inter Milan for 12.2 million, 6'6" from Italy, 79. He has gone up 4 clean sheets to his name from 4 appearances. That's not too shabby at all. Just what you want in your sort of reserve backup keeper. But I've probably got a feeling that Dior and Zanin are probably going to switch it in and out. We'll probably use Zanin in most of the Champions League games with a bit more reaction time and the likes. He'll play a lot of the cup action, and maybe Dior will be the Premier League keeper depending on how they go during the season. Zanin there with 77 reactions, and his stats growing. Haven't trained him at all. He's on 26 grand for 4 years. We also have Alfan, but he is leaving the club now. So once the season clicks over, he will be heading off to Millwall. 67 overall. We will add these players to the shortlist so that we can keep an eye on them in the future. Alright, Cosmicu, right back. Romanian, has potential to be special. He is up to an 80 overall. He's gone up 3 this season. 34 appearances, 2 assists. And attribute-wise, he is growing a little bit. Haven't trained him at all this season. We need those physicals to really start to, you know, come up a little bit. But he is only 19, and the defensive-minded players, generally, their physicals don't grow as quickly. Once he gets to, like, 24, 25, we might see a decent increase there if we don't train him. But at this stage, those physicals aren't going up, but his technical ability is going through the roof. So 99 slide tackling, a good stat there. Some good heading accuracy as well for a short lad. He can get up and do the job. He's got a 5-year contract, 37 grand, and valued at 25 million. Next we have Colombo. He is on loan. Medium-high work rates. He is 20. He's up to a 70. He's gone up 4 this season. We won't get to see if he played any games or not, but physical beast there, and definitely a prospect for the future for us, at least in a backup role. I think right back wise, once he comes back from loan, he could definitely slot into one of the sides that I have put together. Next we have Toby Bell. He has the potential to be special as well. 71 overall, gone up 4 from England. Just the 10 appearances for him, and attribute-wise, he's got a 5-star weak foot. We just need those physicals. He's just real slow and clunky out there on the pitch at the moment. He is only 20, maybe needs a loan spell. His technicals are coming together, but unless we really need him, I think it's a loan spell there for Toby Bell. He does have potential to be special, so I don't really like getting rid of those players because they could be handy if we're still in this career mode in a couple of seasons' time. He's only on 440. He's got a year remaining on his contract, but we'll address that next season. Next, we have Thierry Touré. Now, this lad doesn't have potential, but when he gets in on the pitch, he seems to really fill in a role there. He would be our number 2 right back at the club at the moment, and can fill in at centre back if required. He's got the high work rates as well, 26 appearances, so definitely got some game time there. 5-star weak foot, which is nice to see. A little bit more physical than some of the other right backs, which is good. Some good stamina there. And his marking, stand tackling, slide tackling. The defensive work is there for Thierry Touré. So he's still got 3 years left on his contract, so he'll be around the club next season. NJ is going to the Blackburn Rovers. Was that a loan spell? I cannot remember. We'll have to wait and see when the season clicks over, but 68 gone up too. Just the 2 appearances for him. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, but just not the potential to get himself going. So we'll see what pans out there with NJ. What's he got? 2 years left on his contract. Next, we move into the centre-backs. We've got Nicastro, who we paid 11 million for from Sampdoria, and has really slotted it into the first team quite nicely once we put Bischoff out on the left-hand side with the injury to Taylor. So we'll see how that pans out. 21 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. 8 clean sheets, that's not too shabby. 3-star, 4-star weak foot, and look at that, physical beast, an absolute physical beast. For 6'6", I think he is, 85 sprint speed, you definitely take that. His defensive capabilities are coming along, and he's got a 3-year contract. Hayes is the Brazilian. Now, he's 22, so we can't see if he has a status anymore. I think he did have the showing great potential at least. So he's just about hitting his marker at 81. May get up to 83, 84 if we're lucky. But, you know, fills in the role, does a very good job there. He's unhappy for some reason. He played 36 games, so we'll have to address that. Maybe it's money. I'm not too sure. 89 sprint speed, good jumping, good strength. And some good defensive work there as well. Financially, he's on 11.5, so he probably deserves a little bit of a pay increase, but still 2 years left on his contract. Next, we have Bischoff as an 80, going up 4, and he was a revelation going into left back. He's been decent this season at centre back, but once we moved him out to left back as well, he really just opened it up. 2 goals, 1 assist. Only the 2-star, but 95 sprint speed and some good strength just helped him out on that wing, I think, and some good marking abilities. Probably would need to work on his crossing and that if we wanted to play him left back a little bit more, but definitely capable of filling in that role. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Palacios, well, we're trying to get rid of him. I will chuck him back on the transfer list. I took everyone off the loan and transfer list for this squad report so we can see their statuses. But Palacios, I reckon, will probably move out of the club if we can get rid of him. I want some more stronger centre-backs to come through and be a part of our youth team setup. But in saying that, if Palacios does stick around, well, then he could probably play in the third-team lineup that I do have set up. Stats-wise, didn't play a game for us this season. But, you know, his attributes are coming along, if not pretty slowly. He's got 1 year left on his contract, so we'll monitor that. As I fucking yawn. Why? Livingston, we don't give 2 shits about. He will be leaving. We've been trying to get rid of him for a season, and I'm just going to let him go at the end of the season. Harrison Williams, 72 overall, went up 2, showing great potential. He's 21 years of age, got 14 games in for him with 5 clean sheets, more of a fill-in reserves role, but you could see him coming through and helping out the first team. I do like him out on the pitch. He seems to be able to hold his own there. What's he got left? 1 year on his contract, so he'll probably get an extension next season. Moving into the left backs, we've got Max Henry, 64, gone up 3, showing great potential, high defensive work rate. Plays a lot better than a 64, 10 appearances since coming back from loan, and really showed some knackers when he did come into the side. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves, and the physicality there that I do like to see in my wingers. His reactions has gone up, which is good. Technicals coming along, and just does the job. So ratings don't bother me too much. but it definitely helps out when the opposition is putting a team out on the park. If you put higher rated players, they put out a better opposition generally. We've also got Andre Krav here, who's been with us since season 1. I can't see him moving on unless we get a decent offer in. I'm not going to put him on the transfer list, but if an offer comes in for him, it may be worthwhile us moving him on now. Although he does do a job. Only the 6 appearances required from him, but, you know, 5-star weak foot, that acceleration is going up. He does the job when he comes in, and maybe he could play like that, you know, senior role in the youth setup team. We'll get to that later once I go through all that kind of stuff. He's got 4 years remaining on his contract. Eric Taylor, back from injury. He is an exciting prospect. 77 gone up 3. 25 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. 4-star weak foot. Fuck. Jeez. Hang on. Just need a beverage. All right. So 82 jumping. He's still only 19 years of age, so he's got a fair bit of growing to do. But defensively sound, and well, Bischoff knocking on the door to take him out of that left back spot. So we'll have to see how that pans out next season. 2 years remaining on his contract. Central defensive midfielder, well, Vasil Kraft, he's out on loan at Charlton. 67 gone up 1. We'll see how he pans out coming back from his loan spell. I would like to keep the Kraft brothers together, so we'll see how that pans out. Bamba, 69 gone up 1. Just sort of starting to fade a little bit away in this team. Only the 14 appearances for 1 assist. 3-star, 2-star, of course. And his stats are sort of to slow down as well. Didn't have any potential, so 2 years remaining on his contract. We'll see where he ends up. He's still the number 2 central defensive midfielder at the club at this stage. Marvel Bunbury. Well, what can we say about Marvel? He had an outstanding season. 77 gone up 4. Doesn't have a potential from memory, but just plays a lot better than the 77. 38 appearances, 1 goal, 6 assists, 15 clean sheets, and just really destroyed that midfield when he was in control. Doesn't really have, you know, insane stats, but just does the job 9 times out of 10. Some good defensive work there, though. Passing and marking is good, and he also has the set play specialist trait. 3 years remaining on his contract, 7 million valuation. Now we move into the right wingers. Now, Henry Green's joining Charlton. I'm pretty sure that is on a loan spell. He is an exciting prospect, I think, from memory. 10 appearances for 2 assists. 5-star weak foot, of course. Physical starting to grow. I mean, he's only 19, but the technical abilities of the lad is decent. He's just not really shown it on the pitch. 3 years remaining on his contract. Next, we have Fitzy. He's unhappy. He's asked to be transferred, actually, so we'll have to see how that pans out. Not really getting the game time he wants, but there'll definitely be a lot more games next season. He's an exciting prospect, of course. Does the job with his big bald head. 22 appearances, 1 goal, 3 assists. And attribute-wise, well, his physicals are starting to come along, but he's more technical than he is physical, and we probably need a little bit more out of him. I need some more pace out on these wings. 3 years remaining on his contract. Sato out on loan is a potential to be special right midfielder. He's out on loan at Freiburg. 75 gone up 4. So if we do lose Green and Fitzpatrick, well, Sato still has to come back. Stats-wise, he's got the 4-star skill moves, 2-star weak foot. He's got the acceleration, and that's starting to grow nicely. And technically, he is very, very sound, the Japanese lad that can play all across that front 3. 1 year remaining on his contract, but we'll see if we can extend that one. Saavedra, Hernan Saavedra, we've only just brought him in from the Youth Academy. Pretty much not sure about this lad. He is an exciting prospect. Whether he gets a loan spell or sold off, not too sure. Only 3-star, 3-star. Didn't have the work rates that I like in my wingers, so he may find himself on the chopping block to be moved on. He's got 2 years on his contract, but only 1.5 million evaluation. Jens Johansson has the potential to be special right midfielder, and I like the look of this kid. He's gone up 6 to a 74 this season. 14 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists, and showed a lot out on the right-hand side. So could possibly come in and take over from Fitzy as the number 2 right-hand side. Obviously, we play Hagigne there at the moment, but definitely one for the future here at Jens Johansson. Definitely capable of holding his own coming in. 98 ball control, some good dribbling, some good passing skills. So could possibly drop into a centre midfield as well. well. He's got 2 years remaining on his contract, valued at $10 million. And last but not least, at right midfield, we do have Charlie Allen, our Scout Future star, 84, gone up 3. Has the potential to be special, of course, and pretty much just drops into that cam position, even though he's only meant to be a right midfielder, right winger. His stats scream midfield player. So 30 appearances, 5 goals, 13 assists. A decent season from him. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves. His physicals are just starting to kick in a little bit. I haven't trained him. I'm hoping that those physicals grow a little bit more for a winger. We need some more pace out of him. But technically, he is sound. Those stats, all in the dark greens, are very, very good. And he has 2 years remaining on his contract, valued at $44.5 million. Moving into centre midfield, a potential to be special in Hikaru Nagahama. 68, gone up 3. Whether he gets a loan spell or starts to make a name for himself in the twos, we'll wait and see. 8 appearances, 2 assists. What's he got? 5-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. Not bad physicals. Probably needs a little bit more strength, but yeah, probably more forward in a cam position. 99 dribbling for the Japanese lad, and he has an acrobatic clearance trait. 1 year remaining on his contract. Next we have Dietrich. He's unhappy with his game time. 72 gone up 4. The little German pretzel. He may find his way out of the club. Only the 1 appearance for him this season. A lot of lads sort of stepping in front of him, the likes of Sun Hee So and that. He just feels a little bit rough around the edges. He does have the 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, but a little short lad. I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Mikel Fries has the potential to be special. 74, gone up 4. And showed some worth this season. 19 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists. And yeah, you know, these physicals and mentals don't really scream too much for me for a centre defensive midfielder, but his technical attributes are flying along. He's still only 20 years of age, so you'd assume those physicals would start to catch up a little bit. 1 year left on his contract, valued at $11 million. Sun Hee So showing great potential, of course. 74 going up 8. I put a fair bit of training into him this season just to get him up to scratch. Don't forget he started at 37 in season 1, so he's coming along finally. 74 going up 8. Had a fairly good season. 20 appearances, 7 goals. He just ripped it open there in the League Cup, and a 1 assist as well for that 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves. Has all the stats to screen to play further forward. We have tried him out as a striker. If those physicals keep going, 96 finishing for Sun Hee So. So definitely an impact player. We can play him in centre mid and, you know, drive him forward. 84 long shots and 96 finishing. He could definitely nail some action moving forward. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Alfie Wilson, the star of the show there in the midfield, bit of a general himself. Didn't have a potential, but he is an 80, gone up 1, putting a little bit of training into him. 40 appearances, 6 goals, 4 assists, 15 clean sheets. And attribute-wise, well, that 89 stamina and vision really is helping him out. He's got some decent strength about him as well. And not bad technical attributes. Some good tackling there for a centre midfielder. Good short pass as well. He won't be going anywhere. 2 years remaining on his contract. Left midfield, well, Perot, we brought him in just to sell him off, and well, he's gone up 4 this season because we couldn't get rid of him. Gave him 1 opportunity there in the Premier League for a 6.9, but possibly could fill in the youth team while we keep bringing in youth players, or he may find him out of the club, worth $3.7 million. Next we have Lund, who is showing great potential. 74 going up 3. Shows a lot when he does come in. 23 games, 2 assists. Attribute-wise, the 4-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot, but he has a little bit of pace, which is still growing, which is good to see. Good technical attributes, so definitely the number 2 on the left-hand side at this stage, but probably need to bring someone in a little bit more classy to back up Mock if we're going to be playing some Champions League football. He's got 2 years remaining on his contract. Arbaland Singh, the Indian lad, 56 gone up 1. Well, he's pretty much just a mascot at the club now. He did get 2 games this season. And, yeah, you know, he shows a bit when he comes on. He fights for his opportunities. But, yeah, you know, not really going to see him too much. Maybe in some of the youth team setup that I set up for next season. Next, we have PC Mock. Showing great potential. Well, we've seen glimpses of this potential, but every now and then he does go missing. medium-low work rates, 38 appearances, 10 goals, 3 assists. And the 4-star skill moves, of course. His pace is coming along now, which is good to see. Hopefully that can encroach in onto the 90s, which would be good. We could get some pace down that left-hand side. 99 crossing. His dribbling is up. His passing skills are up as well. Good finishing. So he should be playing a little bit better than what he is. Hopefully he has a big season in number 6. He's got 3 years remaining on his contract. Moving into the cam rolls, we've got Thomasu, who is out on loan. 71 gone up 3. And, well, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Thomasu. Showed a lot of promise in the first couple of seasons, but we've sent him out on loan, and we've got some younger kids coming through that are really holding their own. So, I don't know. Thomasu is probably one of those lads that when he comes back, we'll chuck him on the transfer list and he'll make his way out of the club. Next we have Lambros, showing great potential. The Greek lad, 66, gone up 3. Just the one gig for him this season. The 5-star skill moves. I have re-signed him on a new contract, but may find his way out of the club. He is on a 5-year contract, but not much wages, so that's not too shabby. Sepulveda, we've just brought in the Argentinian, has the potential to be special. 68, already gone up 1. Wouldn't have played a game, of course. The skill moves in that aren't really what we were looking for, but he's got some stats there physically, which should help him out in a cam position. And technically, you'd assume that he would grow very, very quickly, having the potential to be special. So probably keep him around the club for next season and see how he plays out. He's got a 3-year deal. Tom Lefebvre, well, 69, gone up 6, has the potential to be special. Didn't put any training into him. He's just absolutely flying along. 24 appearances, 8 goals, 12 assists. An outstanding performance from the 18-year-old living in De Bruyne's shadow. But that is his cult hero, and he'll want to step up in the next season. 4-star skill moves. Physicals coming along nicely. Probably need a little bit more strength out of him, hopefully, and a bit more sprint speed for sure. Technically sound, though. Those stats coming along nicely. He has 2 years remaining on his contract. Lavaris, the centre forward, 69 went up 5. He's an exciting prospect. Can play striker as well. May get some opportunities this season. Had the 2 games, but didn't really show too much. 5-star weak foot, which I like in a forward. Physically, he's very, very good coming along there with some nice jumping skills. And his shot power up 11. That's good to see. Good heading accuracy. So may get some more opportunities this season, Lavaris. 3-year deal, 32 grand a week. Right wingers, we've got Park. We've just re-signed him. He doesn't have potential, but he's got pace for days. Just the 7 appearances, but we can bring him in if we get some injuries out wide. Look at the pace. That is delicious. I do like to see that pace, so we can exploit that if required, especially in some of the, FA Cup games and the likes. Hungwoo Kim, well, I'd assume he'd probably make his way out if we can find a spot for him. Had a few offers for him this season, but nothing really came through for him. He does have a bit of pace about him as well, but we can't, hold on to too many players. We need some more youth coming through. Moving into the strikers, we've got Hashida, an exciting prospect, 68 gone up 4, 9 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist, and played a pretty good role there in the 2s. Technically, he is sweet. His stats scream winger as well, more like a Higuinho type, but we'll see how he goes. And he's got 1 year remaining on his contract. Dylan Allen, well, 4 weeks till he's fit, so he'll be ready for the pre-season. 79 gone up to 36 appearances, 24 goals, 10 assists, 12 clean sheets, and just, a decent season from the man. He's been holding this club together and got us all the way to the Premier League. Unfortunately, the injury there sees him not being able to lift the trophy, but, I've got high hopes. Whether he fades onto more of a bench player, we'll see how he starts off the season. There's going to be a lot of games, so we're going to need some rotations coming through. He's got a 4-year deal and he's on 77 grand. Nori Mori, potential to be special, 68 gone up 5. It still hasn't shown us enough just yet, but he'll get his opportunities going forward. 6 appearances for 2 goals, attributes 3-star, 3-star, physical starting to, increase a little bit there. 99 dribbling, 97 ball control, 99 volleys, so more of a winger as well. 1 year remaining on his contract, so these boys are going to have to really put in an effort for next season if they want to continue here at Forest Green. Robbo out on loan again, he's at Bolton, 67 gone up 2. We all love Robbo. He won't be going anywhere. We'll just keep him around the club. Higuinho's an 84 gone up 4, an exciting prospect. So just about finished his growing natural growth. Probably got 4 or 5 ratings remaining on him. Now, I've explained this a million times. The way he 37 appearances, 16 goals, 7 assists, 14 clean sheets. The 5-star weak foot. But without any training, I have trained him in the last couple of weeks on his finishing and attack positioning. So that's only just started going up. But I was really leaving because of his natural growth. His sprint speed now at 95, acceleration at 97, his balance is up. I was just hoping that those would lift a little bit just on their own, his strength and stuff. Things that you can't train. You don't want to interrupt natural growth if it is growing this well. But I have started training him a little bit now. His finishing is now up to 69, so not too far off the pace, and the rest of his stats are absolutely dreamy. So he'll be a force to be reckoned with, whether we play him on the wing still. His stats are still as a winger. If you put it in the FIFA rosters, he's about a 3 rating higher. He's only a 78 striker, I think, from memory. So once that finishing gets up, he'll definitely have opportunities. He showed he could hold his own a little bit there towards the end of the season. So probably some rotational stuff there with Dylan Allen up front. But in big games where we need the pace, he'll definitely be out on the wing. And finally, we have Zalewski, who is out on loan, the Polish winger. He needed a loan spell. He didn't really show us too much, but high hopes for the young lad. He's just turned 20. We need them physicals growing. We need the pace if you're going to be a winger, mate. He's got 2 years remaining on his contract. So that is the full squad. That was very in-depth. Hopefully you got some good information out of that. Now we're going to go and jump over and see. I've sort of set up 3 teams that I think we'll have going into season number 6. And obviously we'll have some signings and players leaving the club. But let's go and have a look at that. Right, so I've set up 3 teams. I've set up a first 11, which is our standard 11. We've got Dylan Allen up front, Charlie Allen in the middle, Higinye, Wilson, Bunbury, Bischoff on the left, Hayes, Nicastro, Cosmichu, Dior between the sticks, and then the subs would be Lund, Fitzy, Lefebvre, Sunhee So, Toure because he can play centre back, and Taylor because he can play centre back. So that sort of covers your defensive lineup, and Zanin. So I think that's probably the first 11 unless we sign in a real big marquee player. But I'm happy with how that team performed towards the end of the season, getting Dylan Allen back up front, bringing that pace back in on the right-hand side for Higinye. Dylan Allen obviously will get the captain's armband back. There we go. So yeah, that's the first 11. So the reserves team will look like this. I've got Hashida up front at this stage. Lund on the left, Lefebvre in the cam role, Fitzy on the right. Sunhee So is the captain in the midfield, partnering up with Bamba. I've put Max Henry in at left back, Taylor in at centre back, Williams is in there partnering up, and Toure, and then Zanin between the sticks. You've got Johansson, Fries, Norimori, Green at this stage, but he'll leave on a loan spell. Nagahama, Bell, and Dior there as the reserve players. So we'll just address what's going on once players leave on loan and the likes. But that is basically the reserves team. And then I've put together pretty much like a youth squad. We'll probably use this in like the League Cup and stuff like that. And really going to focus on the Champions League and the Premier League again, obviously. But we like some cup runs and give some of these young lads a chance to shine, make a name for themselves. So I've got Norimori up front. Perot, I don't know whether he'll get sold. We'll have to wait and see. Is in on the left. Sepulveda, the Argentinian, gets the cam role. Johansson on the right. Nagahama in the middle. Dietrich at the moment at the central defensive midfield. We probably need a third in there. I think Bamba could probably come back and be more of a mentor in this side, and we'll get another stronger one in. Same as I've got Andre Kraft here at the left-hand side. I mean, if Basil comes back, he could probably play in this team with his brother. Then I've gone with Williams and Palacios as the centre-backs. We probably need a couple more centre-backs here to fill this one out, although it can get rotations through if there's no cup games. Whoever's fresh can sort of fill in. And NJ is at right back at the moment, but I think he is leaving as well. Zanin is between the sticks, so he gets the opportunities. Then we've got Singh, Green, Lavaris, Park, Bell, and Toure on the bench. So what that means here, for me, personally, Liverstam is leaving. Elfand is leaving. Kim, I think, goes on the transfer list. Lambros goes on the transfer list. Saverdra goes on the transfer list. So only a couple there that I really desperately want to get out. And then we'll have some more players come in. So then we'll have to look at maybe, some of these lads will leave as well. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. If you've got any other ideas and suggestions, please do leave them in the comments section. We'll see how we go with putting some teams together for an onslaught on the Champions League next year. Right, we better take a look at the objectives for this season. We've got youth development still ongoing, brand exposure. Well, we didn't sign a forward. Maybe we need to do that next season. I don't know. I think I'm happy with Hishida and Norimori coming through. Higinye can fill in the role. I think we're pretty good for forwards. But if there's someone out there that really screams to be, brought in, we can definitely look at that. Continental success, nothing. Domestic success. Avoid relegation. Well, we just won the fucking Premier League. We got knocked out in the FA Cup, and we've already got the long-term goal of finishing mid-table. We've done that. Don't you even worry about it. Financially, well, we've got a profit. We've definitely got a profit. 265 fucking million. Well, we'll take that. The 173 million there from the winning the Premier League. I mean, our transfer budget isn't looking too shabby at this stage, but hopefully the board gives us some decent money to play with going into the next season. Right, so I think that's where we will leave today's episode. Just a real in-depth look at the squad, a good wrap-up, and good chance to see how Forest Green is looking going into season number 6. I'm going to get working on a slider scenario. I don't want to change the game too much. I mean, I know there's slider settings out there that can completely change the style of gameplay. I don't think that's the route that we want to go down to. I just think we need to work on just the issues that seem to go on with the CPU. Their shooting accuracy is absolutely rubbish. There's clear-cut chances that they should be finishing. Some of their keeper situations, I think we need to buff the keepers and we need to buff their shooting accuracy. They're the main two, and possibly the marking. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the gameplay style. If we change it too dramatically, it's going to feel a bit weird. But I need to test that, and I will let you know once we start the next season on the slider scenarios that I have set up. But that's where we'll leave it. Hopefully that was a bit more in-depth. Make sure you're leaving me some comments on players and stuff like, where you think players should be playing and who should just fuck off out of the club. But we'll address that when we move into the next season. Cheers for checking that one. Hope you had a very good new year, and we will see you in another episode. I'm Spying DK. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you have a good one.